What's up? Oh, fuck. You're gonna make me change this shit? God. Alright. Why is it showing? Okay, sweet. Somebody check to make sure we're live? Oh, hell yeah, we made it. Okay, dope. On the YouTube? Okay, sweet. So who wants to host this shit, or is it gonna be me? Sounds like it'll be me. Lovely. We hate this. Can I? It shouldn't be streaming my... The audio... Is it... Audio isn't streaming it. Here, let me make sure. How do I get to my channel? Okay. It still shouldn't pick up my... I've muted the audio. Okay. Okay. Somebody say someone.
Yeah, it's about a 5-second delay, but we can hear like your alarm going off and stuff.
Oh, shit. Love that. Okay. Sweet. So people on stream can hear us? We good to go? We good to roll?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Okay, sweet. Who wants to kick us off? Don't all jump on it too soon. I guess I'll start. Since we're apparently live, hi guys, I'm my Stegosaurus. I'm your irresponsible tech guy for the day. I'm here to punch buttons poorly. Yeah, that's about it. Bull, go.
Go down in order.
Hello there, I'm Bull. I'm here to have some fun and talk about some awards tonight.
I'm Darkness. I'm here to get every prediction wrong.
2019 member of the DSFL Awards Committee, coming to chime in on some award winners.
I'm Laser. I'm also the awards committee for DSFL for PBB. Yeah.
And I'm Zan. I'm the GM of the New York Silverbacks. And I'm just here to watch some awards.
You ain't watching, homie. You doing it. Sorry. Hate to break that to you. Alright, Zane, you're in charge. What awards up first?
Right now we got Returner of the Year. We have... Should I read out the names or...
Yes.
Yeah, alright. We got Ivan Tostovich from Dallas Bird Dogs. We got Squidward Tentacles from the Bondi Beach Buccaneers. Bradley Welch from London. J.C. Higgins from Kansas City. And then Miracle Whip from Tijuana.
Miracle Whip is an outstanding name.
Turn Zane up a little bit on your end.
Sweet. Done. So somebody tell us about these guys.
Bradley Welch and Miracle Whip are probably two of the better options for this award. Welch had the most kick return yards in the DSFL of 910. Miracle Whip had one of the better averages though, with 20.8 for everyone. And they both did at least a decent amount on kick and punt returns both.
And there was no touchdowns for any returner.
No touchdowns in play. Somebody to highlight, I think, is Tostovich for Dallas, sitting there with a 22.3 kick return average and 8.7 punt return average. So it appears, unless I'm missing something, that the averages are tops. So I think a strong contender there as well.
He has the strongest volume in punt returns, but kick returns is a little bit off the others. So he's an interesting option.
Yeah, since he has 300 less yards than Bradley Welch, but he definitely has volume on punt returns.
All right, so who do we think wins this?
Oh, we'll see.
It's
Cop now.
probably going to come down to
I think it's between.
Tostovich.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right.
Unless you go the sheer volume.
Hey. Congratulations to Ivan Tostovich. Also, that's an incredible render.
Yeah, that's
An
an
awesome
amazing
render.
Really is great.
That looks...
Yeah, he's been awesome all year, so no surprise that he wins this award. And look at that render. How can you stop someone coming out of a return looking like that? You can't tackle him. He's too buttery.
Moving on.
Guys, the precedence has been set. Every player I talk about is going to win their award. So let's see if that rings true here.
I'll put 10 million bucks down right now on that being false. Moving on to punter of the year. Your nominees are Levy Tate, Azuku Campbell, Jack Lewis, and I Kick Balls. Somebody tell us about these guys.
So
I'll start off
obviously-
with Tawana's I Kick Balls. He had the most volume out of everyone in here. Also was able to get the most punts inside the 20. Tied with Levy Tate. They both got 29 in there. A decent average, but a little on the lower side. Levy Tate's probably, I would think, probably the favorite for that, with average of 44.3 and also gained 29 inside the 20.
Yeah, it's going to
Yeah,
be
I
similar
have
to
to agree
returner if you give it to the extra volume or the slightly edge to efficiency and average.
Also, I Kick Balls had 69 punts, so
For
Nice.
There you go.
2,950
Yeah, nice.
yards.
Nice number.
Nice
With
number.
Tate 60 for 2,600.
A Campbell train here, I think, with the second highest average. I do have to shout out my boy Jack Lewis for Norfolk. We picked him up off waivers last season at the trade deadline. Did a fantastic job for us. Obviously, you can see the numbers there. Just doesn't have the volume, I think, to win this, but just had an absolutely fantastic second half for us, as you can see.
Yeah, he's got an exciting future, I think, when he gets drafted this year. So,
Oh, all right.
The only thing that be is that Levi Tate has half of his punts were inside the 20, which is just impressive.
yeah.
Wow.
I think this
Also
is
shout
Levy
out
Tate's
Paul Monitor.
Somebody
award
want,
to lose right here.
somebody want to make a prediction before I hit the button?
I think it's got to be Levy Tate.
Yeah,
I would
Tate.
agree with that, I think.
It is Levy
Oh
Tate.
my God.
What the?
Two.
Oh.
They better win all the awards. For
The
That's
first
amazing.
two renders have been absolutely incredible.
Is this Moosey who does
Did
does
Moosey do all
thunders?
these?
I imagine this was Moosey, yes.
This is,
Well, that's amazing.
their username is Sloth, so that kind of explains their render.
Okay.
All right.
We have a lot of slots in this
You're
for
an
some
absolute
reason.
legend.
Congratulations, Levy Tate. Moving on, we've got Kicker of the Year. Once again, Levy Tate from the Minnesota Grey Ducks, Azuku Campbell, Paul Monitor, and I Kick Balls.
So, it's the exact same four, again. When you get
First
that
important note
Campbell-
is no one on the table had missed an extra point, so that's nice at least to start with.
Billy
I
Doorknob,
think
but
something
he's not
that-
on the slide.
Something that's impressive with Paul Monitor is Actually, no, I misread that, so ignore my comment. But he made all of his 40 to 49 kicks, so that's pretty cool. I thought it was the 50 kicks, but that's not right. But he made one.
I think looking at it, Levy Tate has a 80% field goal percentage, where everyone else is
Yeah.
in the 70 or 71. He had
The
the most
other-
extra points made. So
The
I
other thing
think
is
anyway,
Luke Campbell did also make the most field goals in the DSFL, though. He making 29, so there's a thought there too.
Yeah, there's a big discrepancy in volume between Campbell and the rest of the field there.
Yeah, Campbell had 13 more kicks than Tate.
but he only got 8 more.
All right, prediction time.
For 8. I'm going Tate for the back-to-back.
I would probably think that as well.
I think it's probably Tate.
Congratulations, Levy Tate, kicker of the year.
Wow, he's just racking them up.
Ooh,
Again, amazing render. I just gotta say that every time we see her.
Missy Lazy, we're using the same render.
Moving on, we've got safety of the year for the DSFL. We've got, I'm gonna butcher that. Somebody go.
CSI Multiapepe.
There we go.
From Portland. Amari Springer from Tijuana. Spike Daniels from Norfolk. Jay Spears from Portland. And Fuzzy George from Minnesota.
So the first thing I have to know here, obviously, is Jay Spears from Portland was the only one
20.
with that ended up scoring a touchdown on the year. So,
Also had
Yeah,
so there's
most
that at
tackles.
least. And forced 3 turnovers as well, still too.
Mhm.
While a little lacking on the pass defense side, everything else looks really solid for him. Appreciate the work though that Amari Springer did with Tijuana this year. Was greatly helpful to take us as far as we did.
It's
Yeah,
probably
I
his
think
first-
all these safeties are pretty crazy. I think Spike Daniels does have a pretty good shot with his 4 interceptions, which is, I think it's more than everyone else. Maybe even combined. I can't do math, so that might not be true. But
It is, but people in the past have had a nice bias towards touchdowns because touchdowns are pretty nice. And
Yeah.
Spears did get 3 turnovers as well, still too.
yeah, that's the thing. I think the diversity from Spears and even someone like Amari Springer, they both had different types of stats besides just a pure pass defense like Spike Daniels did.
And then
But-
Daniels
Yep.
has the lowest amount of tackles. He's on 50, where he got Spears and 66, Springer 60.
On the same note, though, he also has the most pass defenses out of all 5 of them, though.
He doesn't have to tackle people if he's defending those passes, I guess.
Well, that's going to be Daniels' strength.
I have to shout out Spike Daniels as well. Obviously, is my teammate, does a terrific job back there. You guys have already talked about the 4 picks, the 11 passes defended, and you're looking at the low tackle total, but he had the league's leading tackler right in front of him for the season. So honestly, I just didn't let that man eat enough, to be honest with you. That's on me.
All right, prediction time. Somebody make a call.
It's gotta be Spears, I think.
Spears.
He's Spike.
Too diversified.
Congratulations, Jay Spears.
Who needs award vote? Who needs the slides? We'll just tell you who wins.
So we're what? We're 3 awards in with no football renders. Love it. Moving on to cornerback of the year.
Renders.
That is football.
Yeah, it is football, I guess.
I guess it's the ISFL. It's international now. I can't be a bigot. Anyway, moving on to cornerback of the year. We've got Sakeem Webb from Dallas, The Laz from Portland, Tessie Garcia-Parra from Kansas City, Doc Holliday from Tijuana, and Owen Reed from Minnesota.
We got a fun few stats coming on with these because there are multiple players that scored touchdowns. Owen
Yeah.
Reed, Delaz, and Doc Hall, they all got touchdowns, as well as Sakeem Webb, who blocked a punt too.
Well, the last
That's
one's got
kind of
one.
nuts of all
He got
that.
3 touchdowns.
Yeah, the last had 3,
Yeah, I
don't
think
see any way this doesn't go to the last.
Yeah, I think
which
Yeah.
is
For the
This-
most interceptions.
and
the Laz's award to lose.
most
and
most PDs as well too. Wait, no, yeah.
he ruined my
Tessie
season.
with 7 forced fumbles and 5 fumble
These are
recoveries.
just Doc Holliday still has high force fumbles too. It's just these stats are nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost ISFL level stats from these guys.
Yeah.
Corner in the new sim is just dumb.
Shout out to Tessie for sure, but guys, I'm gonna get ahead of us a little bit too. I think defensive player of the year is the Lazes to lose too. I mean, to put up that many numbers across the board and score 3 tutties from corner, pretty tough to not vote for in my opinion.
Equal
Yeah,
highest
forced
wins, most PDs, most TDs,
nine turnovers.
most tackles. The
Make
only
a call.
difference is
Give me
Yeah,
the
it's
Laz.
gotta be Laz.
The Laz? Okay. Congratulations to the Laz.
Ooh, look
Moving
at
on.
Arnie.
We've got linebacker of the year. We've got our own Scotty McHits. We've from Norfolk. We've got inactive from Tijuana. We've got La Carpatron Duke Marriott from Minnesota. We've got Bill De La T. Duttervy. I don't know, man. And Omni Man from Tijuana.
So
I
who do you
gotta
guys?
just- Well, first of all, I just gotta
Scotty
say,
guy's super overrated. I just want to get that out there right now. Like, I don't even know what this dude's doing on the ballot, but I'll let you guys take it away.
having 2 linebackers from Tijuana was pretty nice and was helped out our for a while struggling secondary this season. We
So
had some issues there at times.
Scotty, the only one to get a touchdown, 135 tackles when no one else passed 100.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty.
135
Bill
is
De La
nuts.
T got a blocked punt. Inactive with
Yeah.
11 PDs. 8 sacks for both of the Tijuana linebackers, which is pretty nuts. 3 sacks as
Yeah,
well. Inactive.
those poor quarterbacks.
Our linebackers went headhunting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think, honestly, I think that this is probably Scotty's to win. I do
Yeah.
like both of these Tijuana players, but I think they might have cannibalized each
100
other a little bit in the
probably.
stats department.
Scotty had
But-
135 tackles and a touchdown.
Yeah,
But he's having
and plus the
4
forced
PDs to
fumbles.
11, 1 sack
Yeah.
compared to 8.
But yeah, both of them having 8 sacks is for Tijuana is pretty nuts. Those and each forcing at least 5 fumbles, and Omni Man gained 8. I'm sorry, that was tackles for loss. Sorry, 3 forced fumbles for inactive, but those sacks are just insane.
All right, make a call, guys.
Probably Scotty
Fortunately,
here.
Scotty.
Okay, Scotty, if you win, I expect a 30-second victory speech about how you're the best linebacker in the league. Congratulations, Scotty McHits. You have 30 seconds.
Yeah, fantastic group there. Obviously thrilled to win that. Humbled to even be nominated for that. A lot of the linebackers on that list did a lot better job than I did this season of making big time plays. I just kind of was there routinely with like the double-digit tackles. So definitely something I'm looking to improve upon moving forward. And thanks again, everyone.
Okay, that was way too humble. You don't get a victory speech ever again. Moving on to defensive tackle of the year, we've got Nep Neppy from Norfolk. We got I Love Hot Salads from Minnesota. We've got Will Brickwall Smythe from London. We've got Domino's Pizza Man from Bondi Beach. And we've got Amadeus Reddy from Bondi Beach. We're going to go with that.
I think that's
Probably
right.
close enough.
What's up?
Yeah, this is another one of those like. Shout out to the Bondi Beach D line for having 2 defensive tackles on this ballot. That's pretty insane. But I think personally, I hate to say his name, but I Love Hot Salads is probably my pick for this, just because he's got some
7 forced
TFLs,
fumbles,
4 forced sacks,
7
and a
TFL. Yeah, the only touchdown here, and had the most TFLs, I believe. So
Most TFLs.
I think Rick
And-
Wall Smith had more TFLs, but I think Hot Salads has a few other.
No.
4
Will
sacks
had-
as well.
Will had 4 TFLs, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
cannot
what I was
read.
gonna say.
I was looking at.
Yeah.
Will had 4 with 1 forced fumble, where
Yeah.
Salads had 2 forced fumbles, 1 recovery, but we're also with 4 sacks.
Yeah.
With
So
the
this is. I think
touchdown.
this is salads to lose. Hot salads to lose.
I'm not saying that name though.
You can shout out Neo Neppy, most tackles with
Big-
28.
Yep. Big shout out Nep Neppy, most tackles, 3 forced fumbles. Had a great year for us and just a great locker room presence. So congrats
And-
Neppy on the ballot.
Seems like the
Shout out
consist.
to Domino's Pizza Man as well with my future teammate Orange County, hoping to make some damage there.
Seems like the committee, or I
a
don't
good
know,
start.
this group chat believes it's hot salads. So let's see. Congratulations! I love hot salads.
No. He keeps winning stuff, man. That render every year.
I don't know how I feel right now, but it's not normal. Anyway, moving on. Defensive end of the year. We got Caleb Watt from Tijuana, Rocco Blade from Portland, Morpheus. Somebody else can do that from Minnesota. Io Torrent
Gyros.
from Dallas, and Will Stein from Kansas City.
It's just bizarre.
And
Let me mute my mic before
diversified.
you
Rocco
say
Blay
something,
with
sorry.
the 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, if not, you're
Will
gonna be
Stein
on.
with 1 and a safety. Safety
Yeah.
for Caleb Watt.
We have 13 sacks for Io Torrent, which puts him in the lead for that by 2.
And
Uh,
Kale Watt was second up
Kale-
there with 11.
Yeah. And then shout out Morpheus. I'm going to say Cyro Gyros. Or Zar Gyros, I think.
Gyros.
That's
the
his,
Gyros.
whatever his name is. But for being a rookie with 10 sacks his first year is pretty crazy, with 3 TFLs on top of that. But there's definitely a few guys like Will Stern and even Io Torrent who probably, and of course Rocco Blade, all pretty good chance at winning this award. Pretty tight competition this
Really?
year.
I really like
Rocco
Will
Blade
Stern
also had the
here.
most tackles.
I think Stern 6 forced fumbles and 4 recoveries with the sacks, TD safety. Like, he kind of leads or has more than any other close candidate. He just has
It's gonna
all
be
the other
close
stats.
between Stern and Rocco Blade.
Yeah, because our voters do love their touchdowns.
All right. The winner is Will Stern. Congratulations.
Stern.
Moving on to offensive lineman of the year, we've got Clifford Wilson from
Hey,
Norfolk.
was that a football player?
What's up?
Was that a football player, Render?
I think it's the second of the string.
Was.
Anyway, offensive line of the year, we've got Clifford Wilson from Norfolk, Madison Beer from Minnesota, Pepe Legs Johnson from Bondi Beach, Zoltan from Tijuana, and Michael Karimi from Portland.
I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
this
Wilson.
category even needs a
Play
discussion.
this one out. Yeah, it's
Shout
gotta
out-
be Bongo. Clifford Wilson.
Clifford Wilson broke
99 pancakes.
He not only broke the record, he destroyed it.
As well as still not allowing any sacks on the year.
Yeah, 0
What
sacks
was it,
allowed. I'm sure
66,
all these guys
67?
probably praying he would allow a sack just so they have a chance. But I
Oh,
think,
goodness.
yeah,
I think like 30 pancakes ahead. Like 30
yeah,
pancakes
he
on
was.
the
I think he
record.
was.
He averaged
he
7
broke the
pancakes a
record
game.
by like, what, like 20 or more?
Close to 30. I think the record was in the 60s.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
All right, so we think it's Clifford Wilson.
Yeah,
We know it's
Yep.
Clifford Wilson.
Congratulations, Clifford Wilson.
Congrats.
I, for
Yeah,
one, am
congrats,
shocked.
Bongo.
Moving on,
Each.
we've got tight end of the year. We've got Mark Goodhead from Portland, Rex Crenshaw from Tijuana, Gronko Murto from Tijuana, Anthony McGuire from Dallas, and Travis Scott from Bondi Beach.
So I think we all most likely know that on who's getting that again this year. Bronco once again had another great year with Tijuana. While he didn't lead in catches, he had the most yards of 650 and 7 touchdowns on the season as well.
With the 12.5 average, which is the most.
No
of
one
all of
else
the
was
top
over. No one
nominations.
else was over 9.5.
And he's got the 7 touchdowns too, which I think is more than anyone else on this list.
Yeah.
Almost like,
The others have.
Yeah.
Maguire has 5.
yeah.
Scott
And Scott.
Goodhead.
And Rex
Yeah.
Crenshaw with a great year solid year for blocking though. Not a single sack allowed with 40 pancakes too.
Yeah, that's a pretty great blocking year, but voters like the flashy stats.
Well,
so
yeah.
we'll see if
With
the-
no touchdowns. Like
He was
Yeah,
a very
we'll
nice
see.
compliment to have as well as Gronku on the season.
I think I'm not sure if Miyoto is going up next year, but I think Crenshaw's a name to watch for tight of the year for next season even.
just
we'll
trying
see.
to convert
All-
a few of those catches.
all-
to
I think whoever
touchdowns.
has Muerto's rights should call him up next year, so I don't have to play against him.
All right,
Do
guys. The winner is Gronko Murto. Congratulations.
Ooh, look at that hair.
Some great hair there.
My hairline's receding at 23, and then I see that, and I don't know how I feel about life now. Moving on, we've got wide receiver.
I've been going back since I was 21.
We've got wide receiver of the year. We've got Vincent Sharpe Jr. from Minnesota, Squidward Tentacles from Bondi Beach, Cliff Burton from Dallas, French Fries from Norfolk, and Ivan Tostovich from Dallas.
Gonna be interesting if you can.
All of these had some great numbers. 3 of them over 1,500 yards. French Fries almost getting up to 16 with 1,596. A little lower on the touchdowns, though. And Vincent Sharpe and Cliff Burton both had 15 touchdowns on the season.
Sharpe with a 19.2 average, about 2 yards above Burton, and 3 above.
And I'll
most
just
others.
say, somebody that was on the committee and trying to, cut to this ballot, this was one of the toughest positions we had as far as, who to have on there, who to cut. So everybody on this list, as you can see, is ultra deserving. It's just a stacked group.
Hotly debated, that was for certain.
All right.
I do have to give a shout out to French Fries, my teammate. Fantastic season to lead the league in yardage. He was great.
Yeah,
I do think that it's Sharpe here.
Whatever ISFL team drafted French Fries probably got some smart GMs, if I have to say.
All right. Because of Zane's ego, I'm opting out of New York, and the winner is Vincent Sharpe Jr. from Minnesota. Congratulations.
Congrats, Muford.
Moving on.
I was a little surprised about that with the lower volume that he had, but he made some big plays and was able to get it done.
Moving on. We've got running back of the year. We've got Noah Johns from Portland. Beniri DeChuama. We're going to go with that from Dallas. Miracle Whip from Tijuana. John Huntsman from Minnesota. And Jax Baker from Portland.
I think right now, like just looking at the stats, I feel like John Huntsman kind of pops out with those touchdowns, the yardage.
17 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Miracle Whip did have 100 more yards,
but
Huntsman had 17 touchdowns. Had with 2 more receiving.
Also,
that's insane.
I know, like, just voters like their balanced numbers, and Huntsman was used in the passing game a lot more than Miracle Whip was, it seems, with him having 200 or almost 300 yards, and like 2 touchdowns compared to Miracle Whip's only 79 in the air. So I think Huntsman's kind of got the edge on this.
Before you even get into the actual rushing stats, Huntsman's by far the best receiving stats as well. Almost 300 yards with a 15.7 average.
But obviously, Miracle Whip's rushing average for how many carries he got, having a 5.2 average.
Just a couple quick notes. Quick shout outs. Miracle Whip, I swear to God, is the fastest player I've ever seen on the sim in a DSFL game. Like every time I see him,
he's on your team.
Freaking fast. And then shout out, I know Noah Johns is in the chat here. My teammate in PBE minor league with the Swifties. Shout out to him for the nomination, and Portland for having 2 is pretty awesome.
They probably cannibalized themselves, though, with how they split carries, even though they still both hit 1,000 yards. They kind of killed each other's chances of having enough volume and yards to actually be able to get there.
All right. Anybody want to make a bold prediction?
I can't. It's gotta be Huntsman.
Okay.
Too much volume.
Congratulations, John Huntsman. That is a very attractive man. Moving on. We've got quarterback of the year. We've got Pandemic Kyle from Portland. Is he ... really invisible from Tijuana? Malcolm Savage from Norfolk. Dexter Zailrin from Bondi Beach, and Casimir Oles Jr. from Minnesota. As per linebacker of the year, Laser, if you win this award, I expect 30 seconds of just dishing on the league.
Do you have anything to say, Laser, about your chances here?
So I really think it's about 50-50. I have... Let me pull up the stats again here. So I have far more attempts, which makes my QBR a bit lower than Oles. Rushing, not really much going on there. For passing, he has about 150 more yards. I have 2 less interceptions, and those are really the 2 big things to look at there, along with the QBR. So I think it's really just going to depend on what the voters are looking at here. And then to look at Malcolm Savage from Norfolk, he's got 3,800 yards. He's got 19 touchdowns, which is 14 less, and then 12 interceptions. Mikhail has 2,600 yards. He was in a quarterback by committee with Saylor, I believe. So his are gonna be a little bit lower, but he did have one of the best touchdown interception ratios with 19-7. And then
Really invisible though. What got done on
Yeah.
the ground too with while not as many passing touchdowns, still got 22 total touchdowns.
Yeah, he's got almost 400 on the ground, and then 26-13, which the 13 interceptions is probably what's going to hurt him there.
And when you add third rushing, it's 32, so he's right behind. But I think completion, the lower rating.
Yeah, a lot less
hurt him.
total yards too.
Yeah, I do really like those 2 rushing quarterback stats a lot, but I definitely think that this is a 2-horse race between Zalian and Olds. Obviously, their rushing numbers are not as flashy, but I think they're just efficiency as quarterbacks, just a pure yardage, interceptions, and all that stuff. I think it's just I don't know which one's gonna win because I think they're very close.
And also
I'm gonna
one
give-
other
I'm
quick
gonna
note
give
to
that-
the chat too. Stanzi wasn't technically IA, but he did not have enough activity checks to be considered for the award, which is why he's not in the running for this too.
You need to complete 3 activity checks in the DSFL season to be eligible.
Yeah,
And he did not get that.
He either did only 1 or 2.
Well, all I'm saying before we skip to the next thing is that Laser definitively said he had a 50-50 chance of winning this award. So for all of you DSFL quarterbacks, he thinks 3 of y'all are absolute hot garbage because there's 5 of you on here. That math doesn't check out.
I did not say that.
Go
Oh,
talk to your
yeah, you did,
defensive
buddy.
lineman.
It's okay.
Go talk to your defensive lineman.
Congratulations to Casimir Oles Jr. for winning.
Wow, Laser was talking all that trash talk, trashing those other 3 quarterbacks, and
Yeah, I'm telling you, it wasn't 50-50 in the end, it was 100%.
It's just- they like the big plays over the naked dunk, I guess.
You know what
Big
they
plays are
say.
more fun to watch.
Moving on to Offensive Rookie of the Year. We've got Malcolm Savage from Norfolk, J.C. Higgins from Kansas City, French Fries from Norfolk again, and Carter Knight from Kansas City. I'll make a bold prediction and say that either a Norfolk or a Kansas City player will win this award.
that's kind of a hot trick, man.
Yeah,
just
you're
want-
probably on the right lines there.
Mhm.
Can I point out just because Frostbite's player was also nominated, but he got 0 votes. So I just wanted everyone to know that Frost sucks the map.
And to also note, the 5th person not on the slide was also from KCC.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
Nick
cool.
Smith.
Yeah.
Anybody got a bold prediction here before I hit the button?
So what do we got?
Me and my
I
I
French
think
fries.
it's got to be either French Fries or Malcolm Savage, just because they were both nominated for positional awards. I don't think
Yeah.
Higgins was nominated. I can't remember, but
He was
I
not.
know that Frost wasn't. So it's got to be
I would
one
say
of
it's
the awards
probably
here.
Savage with I think 23 total touchdowns on the season
Yeah, that's going to be a deadly combo for the next few
and
years.
3,700 yards on the ground.
All right.
Yeah, so I think Fries
Or-
beats Higgins, Savage beats Knight, and then it's between Savage or French Fries.
All
We'll
right.
see. Who do they like more?
Congratulations to French Fries.
Oh,
You
French
guys
fries.
aren't comfortable with either.
Mo-
Hey,
Moving on. We've got Defensive Rookie of the Year. We've
French
got.
fries is in France and probably not watching right now, so
He stayed up
shout
for the
out to you,
draft.
Fries, when you were in the morning.
He stayed up for the
Yeah,
draft.
he did stay up for the draft. I don't know if he's up right now.
Super happy he won that. Hopefully, it's the first of many awards for French Fries.
Anyway, moving on to Defensive Rookie of the Year, we've got Scotty McHitz from Norfolk, Omni Man from Tijuana, Morpheus again from Minnesota, Tessie Garcia-Parra from Kansas City, and Doc Holliday from Tijuana.
I think this is another pretty I think Scotty's got to win this one too, just because he won his positional award. So the fact that he's like already winning awards as a rookie means I think he's got a pretty good shot at winning this. Obviously, I think the other really big name is Morpheus here, just because he had some pretty intense competition at defensive end. but he had a pretty crazy year too. But those are my two for this award.
He could still go to Tessie. 21 PD, 7 forced fumbles, 5 recoveries, 3 ints.
You can do better as a quarterback than 21 PDs. I did that. I did more than that in my
I really
rookie
like
season.
Tessie here.
Yeah, but when the next highest in position, that's still gonna be a standout touchdown for
Yeah,
Doc
it's
Holiday as
It's
well
a
as scoring.
standout, but that just feels a little underwhelming on what that could have been potentially.
All
I feel
right.
like if Laz doesn't have that insane season, Tessie's cornerback of the year too. So I think this is Tessie's.
All right. Well,
I was,
no. If you got something else to say, say it.
I'd probably say it'd be Scotty. Between the touchdown and all the volume that he had, I think that he would be the one that would get this.
After his horrendous acceptance speech for linebacker of the year, I just hope it's not Scotty. I'm just bold take here.
I'd be fine with that.
Congratulations, Scotty McHits.
Let's go.
You have 30
We're not
seconds to
doing
redeem.
second
Around to that.
30 seconds to redeem
No.
yourself.
Thank the Academy. No. Yeah, Tessie, shout out to you. You had a fantastic season. I think this one honestly should have been yours. I would have voted for you here, but again, super humbled to receive this, and another great group there. Thanks, guys.
Okay, a little bit less humble. We're slowly corrupting him and breaking his spirit. Moving on
At the end
to
of the ISFL award, he might credit himself.
moving on to offensive performance of the year. We've got Dustin Parmalee from London in week 4. Is he ... really invisible from Tijuana in week 9. Dexter Zalerin from Bondi Beach in week 9. Jax Baker from Portland in week 4. And Jeremy Krause from Norfolk in week 7.
So these were a lot of good performances here.
He got
Krause
3 quarterback games.
had 3 touchdowns in his game, only 100 yards though on the ground. Parmalee had almost 450 yards and 4 touchdowns with no picks. Dexter had 480 yards and 3 touchdowns. Is he really invisible? Only had 178 yards passing, 2 touchdowns with 2 picks, but also had another 140 on the ground with 2 more touchdowns. And Jax Baker, 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. So everyone had real solid games there.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I want to know how
I
many of these games. Sorry, I want to know how many of these games were against Norfolk, but I'm afraid to look.
I'm pretty sure Parm was against at least one of these games. I think was against Tijuana, and that was not a fun time. I don't remember which one though.
Looking at the stats and thinking of the voter mindset, I think it's gonna come down to Parmalee and Saline.
All right.
Quarterback games are very solid.
I think it would probably have to do an edge to Parm with the extra touchdown and very similar yardage.
All right.
If extra better quarterback rating, yeah, probably get a Palm, better catch percentage, completion percentage.
Pretty similar
I
on
mean,
that,
I am
but yeah.
Darwin, but I do think it'll be Parm here.
Well, congratulations to Dustin Parmalee, who was supposed to be on stream with us, but
That was what, there were 1 win this year, I think.
Well, he won with style.
you just had to dunk on him.
For pointing that one out.
Congratulations to Dustin Parmalee.
I even made the comment leading in, asking how many of those were against us, and then you still had to, pour salt in the wounds on me. I see how
that
it is.
was against
I
you
get
guys.
it.
I did not realize that.
Defensive performance of the year is up next. We've got Morpheus from Minnesota in week 8. We've got the Laz from Portland in week 11. We've got the Laz from Portland in week 5. We've got Sakeem Webb from Dallas in week 7. And we've got Rocco Blade from Portland in week 9.
Shout out
Look
to
at the
Laz for
Laz.
getting 2 nominations.
Look at this. Look at the Laz, man. Inspirational.
For his week 11 one, he had
I don't want to talk about
two picks, 2 touchdowns, forced a fumble, and a fumble recovery. That's probably as insane as we're going to get on this list.
His week 11 definitely beats his week 5, so that should.
Yeah, his week 5 was just 1 PD, 1 pick, and 1 touchdown. Sakeem Webb, 2 forced fumbles, 3 pass defenses in the pick.
with the
Rocco
love tackle.
Blade, yeah, had the sack, forced fumble recovery, and the touchdown. And Morpheus got on here somehow with 4 tackles and a sack.
This is the last
We-
week 11, no
Yeah.
question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's nothing
think
else
this
that's going to compete with this.
I
Well,
agree.
Ruined my season.
let's see. Congratulations to the Laz in week 11.
Ooh, more Schwartz.
Moving on. We've got General Managers of the Year for the DSFL. From Tijuana, we've got Guitar Master 116 and Katasa. From Minnesota, we've got Russ Drives the Bus and Crody Man. From Dallas, we've got Zoot TX and Asked Man. From Portland, we've got LSU Fan 101 and Zeagle 1. And from Norfolk, we've got Neegs and Timosura.
Neegs.
I choose to believe it's a long E.
Obviously, the favorites are probably either Mini or Tijuana, but I want to give a shout out to Norfolk. Negs and T-Moose kind of came in and they had a pretty incredible class. Obviously, like this year was going to be rough for them just because it was all rookies basically. But I think that they developed some of these. I think they had 4 first-round picks. I might be either overselling or underselling them, but they just
We did
immense
have 4. We did have 4.
yeah. So an
Tijuana
immense
is
amount of talent.
really
that they
good
developed.
development though, and
Yeah.
but both Minnesota and Tijuana has made it back to the Ultimate back to back, with Tijuana
Yeah.
doing it for a third time and losing all 3.
No,
That part
poor Katasa.
hurts.
Yeah, I gotta shout out Minnesota GMs here. The quack to quack.
Yeah, the other really important note is GM is not the GM anymore. It's Kotasa and
Mhm.
Exolate.
I mean, both Minnesota GMs have stepped down now at this point too.
But he
Kaneko
wasn't
out
Yeah.
on top.
he wasn't GM
GM
for the
wasn't
season. He
Yeah.
stepped down after last year.
Yeah. Oops.
Someone messed that
Yeah.
part up.
Oh well.
And
Just
none of the
one more
GMs
quick
noticed
plug
when
for
voting?
Negs and Timo.
Well,
Plug for Negs and Timo. I think they're the GM pair that did the most with the least. When you look at us coming into the season in Norfolk having 0 capped players, and then seeing some of the individual performances, and obviously we were able to get to the 3 wins, which may not look significant, but when you looked at our TPE level compared to other teams at the beginning of the season, it was a fantastic progression. If they don't win it this year, that's okay. They're the GMs of the year in my heart, and we'll win it next year.
Tijuana just gets their people called up, so I don't have as many cap players anyway. So
congratulations
developing
to Russ Drives the Bus and Crody Man from Minnesota.
congrats to them.
Congrats. Quack to quack, I guess.
Quack to quack.
Moving on.
Good season for them.
Offensive Player of the Year, we've got Clifford Wilson, Casimir from Norfolk, Casimir Oles Jr. from Minnesota, John Huntsman from Minnesota, Vincent Sharpe Jr. from Minnesota, and Dexter Zailren from Bondi Beach.
That Minnesota offense.
Especially when
But
you
at the same
consider
note, though,
quarterback
they may
and running back.
cannibalize votes from each other, though, having 3 on the same team on the ballot.
But they all, especially when you consider the achievements to have a quarterback and running back up here as the top in the league, shows
All
you
3
what
of
their
them are
offense
different
was.
than the Wars as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And no one should forget and sleep on Wilson, the mind-boggling O-line season he had.
And honestly, that was really interesting. Coming up with the ballot and getting Wilson on there was honestly something I felt
That
like
was
hell
a-
for, and obviously had a lot of
That was a-
support.
All
Some
right.
interesting debates between that and also when we got to the MVP votes, too.
All right.
That's
So,
gonna be the other
I
thing
think-
is whoever
I think
wins
he's got
this,
that outside chance.
somebody
whoever
make a
wins
call.
this can't be MVP. So you may think it's gonna be someone and they don't win. They could be
Yeah, I'm
the
pretty sure that
MVP down the
Huntsman is
line.
going to end up being the MVP, so then it's going to come down to which one of the 3 Minnesota players did they value more. And because as much as I love a good OL season, I don't think it'll be an Offensive Player of the Year season, just because it's not as flashy as some other positions. So I think it's going to come down to probably either. I mean, it's going to be. It could be
People
any of
like
Sharpe, Zailren, or
QBs,
Olsen.
so it's probably going to be Casimir, I would think, because people like the numbers that QBs put up.
Well,
I think, I'm in the agreement where it's gonna be Oles for this and
Let-
Huntsman MVP.
let's find out. Congratulations to Casimir Oles Jr. Okay, moving on. We've got Defensive Player of the Year. Once again, we've got Scotty McHitz from Norfolk, Tessa Garcia-Parra from Kansas City, Will Stern from Kansas City, Io Torrent from Dallas, and The Laz from Portland.
Yeah, a
So
lot
as
of
we
good
talked
moves
about
here.
before, 3 of these people do have touchdowns, with the Laz leading that with 3. All of them had really, really strong seasons, though, obviously, to get here in the first place.
Yeah, realistically, voters like if you win a positional award, you're more likely to win this award. So I think it's probably obviously the lads had a pretty insane season, and then Scotty and Will Stern both won their positional awards. So I think they definitely all have a pretty good shot at winning this, taking this home.
I said it's probably coming down to Laz or Scotty for me.
Most
just think
likely.
their seasons are a bit more absurd for their positions compared to what Stern got.
All right.
I don't think you have to worry about my lame acceptance speech here because this should be the Laz, I think, hands down.
Well, let's find out.
Yeah, I agree.
Congratulations to The Laz. Moving.
Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. And he does.
I think this is the last time he'll be back on this award show, though. Moving on. We've got Most Dedicated Member for the DSFL. We've got Crazy Lemire, Sopath, Captain Gusar, and G 2019.
Hey, G 2019, do you want to talk about this G 2019 person?
You can do that if you want.
Was I supposed to know I was up for this, or is this supposed to be a surprise?
This is a surprise. So this is left off the ballot.
Congratulations.
I was like,
and then they
holy shit, that's me.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Great users on the screen. People that are super active. Putting out a lot of media, getting other people involved. Haven't been in locker rooms with these folks too much other than invites for prospects, but I know they're super active there too. This could really go any way, and it's a terrific list, and honestly, I'm honored just to be on it.
Love having Sopath in Tijuana. He's awesome there. Great guy to be around.
Yeah, same with Crazy Lemire and Bondi Beach. He came in and immediately was just active and getting everyone into the games and really making an impact on our game day performances.
All right. Congratulations to G 2019. Third time's the charm, buddy.
How does that feel?
It's just fantastic. Being a new user and joining over the summer, not really knowing what I was getting myself into. I just have to shout out all the users in this fantastic community. It took me about a week, and I absolutely fell in love with this league. I'm sure some of you have seen, I actually got my wife aboard about a week ago, so she can be a part of this great community as well. I just can't say enough. So this is a shout out to everybody who makes new users feel welcome and lets them get involved right off the bat. I love this league, and thank you so much.
Congratulations, my man. Moving on. We've got Most Valuable Player for the DSFL. From Minnesota, Casimir Rolls Jr. From Minnesota, John Huntsman. From Bondi Beach, Dexter Zailrin. From Minnesota, Vincent Sharpe Jr. And from Norfolk, Clifford Wilson. This list looks very familiar, and I don't know why they just changed the order up randomly.
To make it look different.
The exact same 5 from offensive player.
Yeah.
Of course, with Casimir O's winning Offensive Player of the Year, he can't win MVP here.
Probably
Yeah.
Huntsman here with the 19 total touchdowns and rather efficient on the ground too. Everyone else had great seasons, but probably not quite getting there.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this is definitely Huntsman.
Would agree. I think it's got to be Huntsman.
Yeah,
But shout out Clifford
it's
Wilson.
not.
How sick would it be to have an offensive lineman win MVP? I'm just going to throw that out there.
I think if
I think
anyone
the
was
only
going to win it,
reason-
this is probably the closest the offensive lineman will get to winning the award. So it'd be awesome to see him take this home too. But
Yeah,
We'll
there was a hot debate, and there was some disagreements whether to put a defensive player on there while we were going through all of this, since people are not particularly happy about that in the chat that we're seeing here.
Well,
The Laz had a great season, but everyone on here also had great seasons too, so
congratulations to John Huntsman.
yep.
Beat the Funk.
Moving on, we get to ISFL awards now. We've got Returner of the Year from Colorado, National Simulation Football League. From Yellowknife, Kai Sakura. From San Jose, Joshua Campbell. From Baltimore, Bush Goose. And from New Orleans, Andrew Witten.
Yeah.
Don't everyone speak at once, guys.
So
Um,
we've probably established quite well.
while pulling up the
Touchdowns
second
are
sheet,
pretty much
can you give us
gold for returners. So Witten has a kick return touchdown. Campbell has a punt return touchdown. National Simulation Football League has a kick return touchdown. Then Sakura and Goose are the only ones that don't. But Sakura was the only one to get over 1,000 yards combined in returning.
And had a pretty crazy 31.4 average on kick returns too.
It's one of the highest kick returns, highest efficiency and volume. So I think,
Yeah.
as Kai Sakura myself, it's probably coming down to Witten or Sakura. Sakura has the better kick returning. Witten has slightly better punt returning. But with the extra touchdown, I think voters will go to Witten.
Well, congratulations to Andrew Witten from New Orleans.
Also, shout out, yes, Bush Goose had 999 returning yards.
Womp womp for Infinite. One short of a good number, 998. Moving on, we've got Punter of the Year, Jacob Small from Sarasota, Jake Finsick from Philadelphia, Armando Galarraga from Baltimore, Cade York from Arizona, and Blago Kokot from Yellowknife.
I think this has to be Jake Fensick here. He just had a pretty all-around solid season with 42 inside 20. His average being 48.4 average is one of the highest. Obviously, I think Jacob Small is higher, but still, I think the 42 inside 20 is 9 more than Small's. So that's why I think Fensick's gonna win this award.
9 more from 5
And
attempts.
he was second highest in volume too. Baltimore had the most. They didn't do quite as much of all that.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Dylan Mansell, almost 4,400 punting yards.
For sure.
That is insane.
97 punts. But only 41 inside the 20s, despite having an extra sheer volume.
That's a lot of punts on that offense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we reveal the answer, I'm responding to Katarn from YouTube chat. It may be Finn Kick, but that is definitely a C. That's all I'm saying. If you wanted to be Kick, you could have done a K. Congratulations to Jake Finkick from Philadelphia.
Nice.
Moving on, we've got Kicker of the Year. We've got Cade York from Arizona, Sam Sidekick from Chicago, Dougie Smalls from New York, Matthew McDermott from San Jose, and Jacob Small from Sarasota.
First
When I look
note-
at this list, I think this is probably Sam's sidekicks to win. Just seeing a 90% field goal, just making 90% of your kicks, pretty insane. It's a lot more than. Well, I mean,
Yep.
obviously, a lot of these guys are close, but I think
He also
that's a
made
pretty
the most.
significantly.
He made more kicks than 3 of the people even attempted on this list.
Yeah,
I think what's going to go against him is he only had 25 attempted extra points with 1
And he
miss,
missed one.
compared to K York,
yeah.
67 from 67.
And had some very strong efficiency on the field goals too.
But another thing I like about sidekick here is that he from 50 yards he made 6 out of 7 of those kicks,
Nuts.
which is that's pretty nuts. Just in general, that's better than a lot of kickers made at a much shorter range. So
Well, shout out for Smalls, 2 from 2 for 50 plus. But yeah, I think it's going to come down to York and Sidekick.
yeah, love
The
Smalls.
question's going to
Shout out
be,
Peggy.
does York's extra points?
Well, let's find out.
And
I think
apparently York actually set a record with extra points. Someone's mentioning that in the chat too at 67. Is an insane amount.
I think
That
with
offense
the
was
extra
incredible.
30 extra points, I think York's going to win this. His
Well,
field goal percentage was no slouch either.
Let's find
That
out.
offense was incredible.
Anyway, also, sorry to Xenos. I'm doing my best with pronunciation, guys. But I am going to meme myself for it. Anyway, congratulations to Cade York from Arizona. Next up
Great
is
year.
Safety of the year, we've got Derek Wildstar from Berlin, Stephen Wanham from New Orleans, Romulus Roman from Philadelphia, Eugene Smoothie from Orange County, and Cuco Clemente from Sarasota. I don't know why I combined Sarasota and Arizona there.
Defensive touchdowns for Clemente, Smoothie, and Roman. Roman also getting a safety.
Yeah.
And the second
Waldham
most
with
picks of
about
everyone here.
Walden with 98 tackles, to like 20 above the second placing Clemente. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, plus
9
9
sacks
sacks
as
for
well.
Wadham. That's pretty.
Yeah.
And not
Pretty
like
insane.
I think I really like Wadham here. Just he kind of had a diversity, not only the interceptions, but 13 PDs. I think that's more than everyone else. Plus 9 sacks, which is definitely more than everyone else.
Second is
And-
fifth.
And then 98 tackles on top of all of that. I think
20 more
Wadham was basically all over the field for NOLA this year.
20 more tackles, 3 tackles for loss, whilst has 2. The others don't show up. One
Question
forced
is-
fumble. He doesn't have as many forced fumbles or fumble recoveries as some of the others, but he has
Yeah.
sacks.
Well,
The
let's
think that's
interesting
the
note
thing.
is he didn't force as many turnovers as some of these other players did, since he only forced potentially 4 turnovers, as well as Smoothie had 4 picks and 3 forced fumbles, as well.
With
Well,
that touchdown.
let's find out,
And
guys.
multiple people had touchdowns, and Romulus Roman had a safety and a touchdown too. So it's gonna be interesting seeing where they're gonna go here.
Congratulations
Shout out
to
Wildstar.
Stephen Wadham from New Orleans.
Just a crazy season for him all around.
Moving on, we've got cornerback of the year from Yellowknife. We've got Daniel Foster from San Jose. We've got Ricky Vaughn from Philadelphia. We've got CJ Sonjak from Austin. We've got Maverick Bowie. And from Berlin, we've got Swantavius Jones.
I really like Vaughn here. He's got 8 interceptions. Plus, on top of that, 3 of them he took home for pick sixes. Which I think that's definitely more than everyone else. And he just had a
Sonjak and
pretty
Jones got
crazy
2.
year all around.
I think it's going to be big because I think with 3 defensive touchdowns, Sonjak and Jones had 2. I think Bowie and Foster, whilst they had pretty decent seasons.
But that's also
They're
the
just
most
not gonna
forced
get there.
turnovers, as well as 3 touchdowns taken back, and the second best catch percentage on out of all 5 of them here. And it was a close number there too.
Bowie Foster have the worst 2 catch percentages without the touchdowns. I think they're going to be out of it, though they did have the most tackles between them.
Bowie gave over 70% for the catches. That's
That's just not going to
That's not
fly in
great.
the voting.
Yeah. He has the interceptions, but Vaughn just had 1 more than him. Plus, he had the same amount of PDs, which I just think that Bowie just got outplayed this season by Vaughn, even though he had a great year.
All right,
So,
let's find out. Congratulations to Ricky Vaughn from San Jose. Moving on, we've got linebacker of the year from Honolulu. We've got Heinrich Hakpu. From Berlin, we've got Bam Bam McMullet. From Austin, we've got Brock Brack, either or. From Baltimore, we've got AJ Lucas. And from Chicago, we've got Juan Domine. Mag, you can correct me if I'm wrong, sorry.
I think it's Domine. But also, I'm pretty sure Kakpu plays with Sarasota this year. But there's a few names to watch here. The one that pops out is Thomas Latcher with 23 sacks. That's the highest number for I don't know if it was a record, but it's definitely the highest number in this new sim, and just in recent time in general. So that's definitely something that's gonna stand out there. AJ Lucas and Domine have a lot of turnovers, which with 3 interceptions for both of them, and Domine has 5 forced fumbles, but he recovered 4, and Lucas had 6 forced fumbles, but he only recovered 2 of them. So that's a pretty close race there too.
Lucas did have a defensive touchdown. Bam
McMullen
Bam
had
had
yeah, I
a
missed
safety and 2 defensive touchdowns as well.
All
You
right.
guys like
The sacks and hints.
All right. Make a call, guys.
I
I'm
might
just-
want to say Bam Bam with the safety and the 2 defensive touchdowns on that. But
Yeah, it wouldn't
Brock
be Dallas Fort
also had a really
23
strong season
sacks,
too.
it's just calling my name.
Well, let's find out.
It's great.
Congratulations to Thomas Lacker from Austin. Moving on. We've got Defensive Tackle of the Year. From Philadelphia, we've got Honky Tonk Haywood. From Colorado, we got Magnus Rakaya. From Yellowknife, we've got Patrick Money. From Chicago, we've got Damon Brooks. And from Berlin, we've got Hank Steele. I think it is also worth noting that the obvious admission of Big Ed, I think the league wins in this regard.
No,
I
not the
thought you
league
were gonna
wins.
say yourself with your 7
tackle
sacks or
wins.
whatever.
Yeah, somehow I led the league in sacks and don't make it on here, but you know what? Participation award culture, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, what
But,
do we have
I
here?
think big names to watch out here. I think Brooks has a really good chance here just with 2 turnovers, 5 sacks, and 5 tackle for losses. I really like those numbers a lot.
Magnus could get up there with their defensive touchdown. Honky Tonk got a safety. They both have 4 sacks. 7 tackles for loss for Haywood is the most of any up here. It's a very muted stat line. A lot of similarities between them all. So
Yeah,
compared to
all of them between
linebacker,
4 and
there's a
6
lot-
sacks.
compared to linebacker, there was a much more even across the board along the top, the DTs of the year.
So when the stats are even, we go to like who the nicest user is, right? Because then
That's why
Tesla
Steak
wins
isn't
for
on the
sure.
list.
10 out of 10.
All right.
Probably gonna have to go Brooks. I'm
L-
going Brooks.
Let's find out. One second. My computer's messing up. We've got Honky Tonk Haywood from Philadelphia. Look at that beard.
Yeah. The extra tackle for loss and probably
And the safety too.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. We've got Defensive End of the Year. From New York, we have Gucci. I'm not even going to try. From Austin, we have Trone Egghands. From Sarasota, we have Son Goku. From Yellowknife, we have Leonard Taylor. And from Orange County, we have Bean Man.
I got Gucci, Kyoko Okanamika.
Well,
Yeah.
that guy did have a defensive touchdown this year. Leonard Taylor was also able to get a safety as well. Everyone except for Egghands having 10 plus sacks as well.
Yeah, I think this is definitely like when I look at this, I might be a little biased because I really like KKM and I really like Leonard Taylor. I'm obviously biased towards KKM because it's New York, but I think they both had they're up there and they both had high sacks. Leonard Taylor with 14 and KKM with 13. Plus they had other turnovers, both and they scored points.
Didn't get any tackle for losses though.
Yeah.
I think this goes to Taylor. He has the tackles,
I
tackles for
agree.
loss, sacks, points on the board. Forced fumbles
Pro-
to me are much more important than recoveries, though 3 and
Oh,
Probably going to Taylor.
okay.
Yep.
He's had a pretty insane career because he won this last year too.
yeah, I think did he win defensive player last year? Or was he
He-
nominated?
I don't know if he won defensive player, but
I should know he's my teammate, but oh well.
All right. Moving on to Offensive Lineman of the Year. We have Alexander Franklin from Philadelphia, Matt Krause from Berlin, Stumpy Jones from Sarasota, Mark Hamill from New York, and Adam Malott from New Orleans.
I see this as a 2-horse race. You could probably make an argument for 3. So Mark Hamill and Franklin both had 130 pancakes. Hamill, though, 2 sacks allowed and 1 penalty. Franklin, no sacks but 6 penalties. Jones is
His-
one behind on 129 with no sacks with 4 penalties, and then Malot's on 126 with no sacks allowed with 1 penalty.
And that penalty is only 5 yards. 126 pancakes, and that one penalty is pretty dang good.
And Kraus also has 113 cakes with no sacks allowed, no penalties.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's going to be worth, say, 15 pancakes, or you have to say for no
I don't think
penalties.
that's probably enough.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think Malott is probably the front runner here.
yeah,
I don't
if-
think that 13 pancakes is enough to overcome with just one penalty to jack it up.
Yeah. I definitely think
Penalties
the
are-
penalties are definitely pretty interesting here with Malott just with only one. That's only 5 yards compared to some of the other ones with a lot more. But yeah, that's definitely something to note here. We'll see who wins.
All
it'll be
right.
Franklin or Malot.
Congratulations to Adam Malott from New Orleans. Moving on, we've got
Woo.
tight end of the year from Sarasota. We've got James Engler. From Philadelphia, we've got Borgo San Lorenzo. From Baltimore, we've got Macau. It's jellyfish. That's all I'm doing. From Orange County, we've got Zach Donozo. And from Yellowknife, we've got Z Rex.
Mikoa Mahila.
So
That's your name for Baltimore.
I mean, sure. I don't hear any difference between what you said and what I said, and that's probably because I'm uneducated.
Fill in the accents of the Samoans and Polynesian language.
Zach Donazo did end up getting the most pancakes and only allowing 1 sack, so he was good on the blocking side as well as being a solid receiving option, getting second most yards of 830.
yeah, and then
10.3
obviously the other
average.
guy here is in my mind at least is San Lorenzo. Hitting 1,000 yards as a tight end is pretty crazy. He's
Eight
got 8
touchdowns
touchdowns
as well.
himself too.
11.5
I think the one
average,
thing that
the
might
most.
hold him back compared to Donazo is the pancakes, with him only recording 28 compared to 46 from Donazio. But I think those two I think are the favorites for this. But obviously, Macau, Angler, and Rex are all pretty amazing tight ends too, and it's a very tough race here.
Yeah,
And
Lorenzo's your
important note
top.
is that Donazo did all this as a rookie too. He had an amazing season.
Yeah,
Lorenzo is your best receiving tight end. Denozio was your best blocking tight end, as well with pretty decent receiving.
I think he was probably one of the better all around one, but
Yeah.
they both had some good seasons.
The question is going to be, do the voters put enough thought into the receiving stats or want a balanced tight end?
well, we'll find out.
Really? Will we? Congratulations to Borgo San Lorenzo from Philadelphia. Moving on, we've got wide receiver of the year from Colorado. We have William Lim. From Arizona, we have Darren Palma. From Austin, we have Vitalson. From Yellowknife, we have Kai Sakura. And from Honolulu, we have 11 Kendrick Watts.
Sako, not secure.
So here's my issue. I think Sakura has the best stats, but the user behind him is such a horrible person that
Sako,
I feel
not
like voters
secure.
might not vote for him. Your
So
silence made it sound a lot meaner than I meant.
So stat wise, I get myself Sako, 1,948 yards is a league record that Lim broke last season, got broken again.
Yeah,
15 touchdowns, the most out of any wide receiver,
the
with also
catch
only
rate at
one drop.
the catch rate at 67% is pretty substantial for how much volume he got too.
Second best catch rate with only 1 drop versus 11 Kendrick
Yeah.
Watts, who had 69% and 10 drops.
Yeah, just in general, like the fact that Sakura has the most receptions and the least drops on this list is just a pretty insane stat line here. Obviously, shout outs to Lim, who again, like always, has a stupid amount of yards, touchdowns, and everything. But I think this year Sakura's got him beat.
I think the contest is probably Palmer, just with that 17.8 average.
I think Palmer's definitely the dark horse here.
Only
He
one
just had a
touchdown.
pretty insane. I'm pretty sure he wasn't even the wide receiver one this year. but he just had Arizona's offense just kept getting him the ball at the right times, and he took advantage. Only 81 catches, but still went 14,000 yards and
14,000
14
yards.
touchdowns.
All
14. I can't do whatever. You know the math. 1,444 yards.
all right, guys. Well, if Kai Sakura wins this, I choose to believe it's because Darkness is the most corrupt head office member in the league, and that's a fact. Congratulations to Sakura.
Ooh, I would like to thank no one because it was all me. And yeah, thank you.
He stuffed the ballot
I
box.
do love that every year your render gets older.
Yeah,
Jackie
I've
Chan.
said it before. It's amazing that like you go to like the dots cards, charity cards, it's like older and older and older. By the end of my career, it's just gonna be Jackie in a corpse, in a
Oh
coffin.
no.
Well, on that morbid thought, moving on to running back of the year, we've got Zoe Watts from Austin, Goat Tank from Orange County, Cobra Kai from Honolulu, Jamar Laxon from San Jose, and Deadly Memes from Arizona.
So on the pure rushing side, Go Tank had the sheer volume, most attempts at 340, most yards 1460, and the most rushing touchdowns as well of 15.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. I think the fact that Zoe Watts had a pretty similar season comparatively, like only 16 less yards, 2 less touchdowns. Obviously, the receiving is a bit lower there, but they did it on less attempts and with a higher average, with a 4.79 average compared to Goat Tank's 4.26 average, which is pretty low compared to a lot of these guys on this list.
When you consider the receiving, like so
Yeah.
Jackson ends up with 5 touchdowns, same as Kai. That's gonna
Yeah,
boost
I
the
think
overall.
And it
Kai
gets the
and
yardage pretty
Laxton are
pretty
definitely
similar on most of
mis-
these.
Yeah. I do actually really like Laxton season 2 just because the efficiency. He was obviously a big receiving threat this year too, but having a 5.3 average is quite good just for considering the fact that he rushed 100 times less than Goat Tank. And yeah, a lot of good names here.
Yeah, I do like Kai probably had the best receiving stats out of the running backs. But he has one of the weaker rushing games because he split between the two.
Yeah, and we didn't mention Deadly Memes because he's stinky. So let's move on.
All right. Congratulations to Cobra Kai from Honolulu.
Yeah, the dual stats really helped him out.
Moving on to quarterback of the year, where I guess the voters decided that there were only 4 people worthy of being on the slide. We have Charlemagne Cortez from Arizona, Colby Jack from Yellowknife, Ben Roethlisberger from New Orleans, and Mike Boss Jr. from Sarasota.
Honestly, I think this is Cortez award to lose. Even though he threw the ball considerably less than basically, I think everyone on this list actually, except Sloth is pretty similar. But besides that, he still put up like comparatively similar yard stats with 4,800 compared to the other two who have within 300 of him. 41 touchdowns, a 113 passer rating. That's a pretty impressive year.
Ooh,
And he had the
me,
best completion percentage of all of them as well too.
so to
Yeah.
me, it's either Cortez or Jack, with pretty easily Cortez. Jack has the sheer yardage and an extra touchdown, but 10 he has 16 ins compared to 10, only
Yeah.
100 QBR compared to 113, slightly behind completion percentage. None of the
Also,
quarterbacks really have much of a rushing game.
Also, I have to give a shout out to Slothsberger here because for 24 touchdowns, but only 3 interceptions in a whole season is pretty impressive. With he also snuck into he's the third name on that 100 plus passer rating list. His rushing is negative yards apparently, which is kind of funny, but just
And
the pure
touchdown still with negative
that's
yards.
still, yeah, that's I don't know what play that was, but him somehow being negative in the yards but also having a touchdown is pretty funny. But
Probably a quarterback sneaking some kneels.
yeah, Yeah,
Cortez's
maybe.
efficiency, like record-breaking QBR, the touchdown to in ratios, I think doesn't
Yeah,
really
it's
leave much room to vote otherwise.
Yeah.
agreed.
All right. Congratulations to Charlemagne Cortez from Arizona. Moving on. We have Offensive Breakout of the Year. We have Remus Roman from New Orleans, Mark Hamill from New York, Joseph Radetsky from New York, Morgo San Lorenzo from Philadelphia, and Deadly Memes from Arizona.
Got some good-looking New York boys on this list.
Yeah, so Hamill went up about 30 pancakes and 6 less sacks allowed compared to last season.
Yeah.
Roman, 500 odd yards, a touchdown, not much receiving game.
This is a
Radetsky,
pretty. Yeah,
double
Radetsky
yards,
went up
double
by over
touchdowns,
double.
triple receptions. I think
San Lorenzo also went up by almost
Yeah,
double in
almost
every
double
stat.
yards, double touchdowns. Then
Deadly
you get to
Memes also.
memes.
Deadly Memes had such a weird last season because he kind of played second fiddle to Nakamura's insane year. So he had had a pretty insane this year.
He's gone from
Obviously
100
he's
to
had some
1,000
good
yards.
years. He had some good years before that, but that jump might be what pushes some voters over the edge here.
He's probably gone from like second fiddle to pretty much nothing last season to almost a top running back. Lorenzo was in the picture last season as a tight end, and then won it this year. But I think increase in like stature, it goes to memes. An extra 10 touchdowns, 900 extra yards, like the multiplication from the last couple of years of stats. I think he's had the most statistical improvement.
All
I think
right.
Radetsky's also pretty good improvement.
Congratulations to Deadly Memes from Arizona. Moving on. We have Defensive Breakout of the Year from Baltimore, AJ Lucas, from Philadelphia, CJ Sonjak, from San Jose, Ricky Vaughn, and from New Orleans, Stephen Wadham.
Eugene Smoother is also on this list and got no love there though. But
Eugene,
Remember, if they
I don't
don't
know
get
why
it, though,
Eugene Smoothie was on this list. Didn't he win Safety of the Year a while ago?
maybe at some
I'm
point.
not sure about that.
It was a while ago. He's been in the league a while, but I think that's probably why he didn't make it on this list. He's just had a couple down years in the middle.
So Sonjak, about double his tackles, 8 extra PD with 5 ins, 2 touchdowns. Vaughn, a few extra tackles, got in a sack, 3 extra PDs, doubling his ends with 3 defensive touchdowns included. Smoothie gets an extra defensive touchdown and forced fumbles with extra tackles, but less PDs and sacks. Lucas, same tackles, more tackles for loss, more sacks, about the same PDs, an extra defensive touchdown, 6 forced fumbles compared to 1, 2 recoveries. Radom, about 20 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, tripled his sacks from 3 to 9, 5 extra PDs, 2 extra ints. I'm gonna probably go. They've all pretty much improved, but there's a few stats for some, like Smoothie, where they've actually gone down.
All right. Congratulations to CJ Sonjak from Philadelphia. Moving on. On the downhill stretch, we have Offensive Rookie of the Year. From Berlin, we have Cheese Farley. From Chicago, we have Rejoignes Lord Sombre. Okay. From Orange County, we have Zach Donozo. From Baltimore, we have the second coming of our Lord and Savior, Jimmy Garoppolo Jr. And from Berlin, we have Troy Abed. This has to be Jimmy G. It's sacrimonious to the league if it's not.
I think it might be Denozo here.
Denozo
He
had
just
a
had-
really strong season as well too. He's definitely in the running for this.
Yeah, Cheese Farley also is kind of underrated here. I was kind of surprised he was on this list, but he played center and got 63 pancakes as a rookie center, which is pretty cool. But I definitely think that it's probably between Gimme and Donazo here for this award. They both had pretty insane seasons for rookies.
To all those in the chat, Jimmy may be an average quarterback, but he is still the greatest player, maybe the second greatest player behind his father that the league has ever seen. You can't look at stats. Stats aren't
I
everything.
mean, I think you have to look at certain points, and especially when you look at a cross-position award. Like, how good is this season compared to other rookie quarterback seasons?
No, no. You don't look at stats. Don't. It's Jimmy G.
Why? Because if you look at stats, does that mean it's not Jimmy G?
No. It's stats
You
too.
have to
But
think-
congratulations
you have
to Zach Donoso from Orange County.
That's not Jimmy.
That's not Jimmy D.
Okay, well, congratulations to
Good
Zach
render, I
Donoso.
have to say, good render.
You deserved the award, but I will go cry into my anime body
A
pillow
very
tonight about it
special
not being
award
Jimmy
winner
G.
right there. Very special.
Moving on, we have Defensive Rookie of the Year. From Orange County, we have Reen Schwarzer. From Austin, we have Daniel O'Leary. From Berlin, we have Jacob Rask. From Baltimore, we have Sheriff Woody. And from Baltimore, we have Lip Gallagher.
On a fun note, I'm Marine, and it was an interesting start to the season since I was splitting time with a retired player initially that shouldn't have even been on the team. But it was a fun time, and I definitely got better as the season progressed.
Anybody else got an opinion?
Obviously
run through the
linebackers are going to
stats.
get a lot of love here, just because it's so much easier to see. Like Sheriff Woody with 8 sacks, an interception, forced fumble recovery, 5 tackles for loss. That's a pretty impressive rookie season. That's impressive for a lot of players who are not in their rookie season, honestly.
A bit down on touchdowns, but I think he beats O'Leary as the linebacker. Then
Yeah.
Rask and Schwartz as the Schwarzer as the two safeties. Pretty close between them. An extra sack, a defensive touchdown probably gives Rask the edge.
Well,
Well,
Gallagher in the middle period, 28
Well,
Rask had 1 sack. Reen had 4 sacks. And Rask had 1 more pick, though.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll see how the voters liked this. I think it definitely was a pretty close race between.
I think ends up.
I
with
think the
Woody.
safeties and Sheriff Woody are definitely the 3 people that I'm looking at.
well,
winning
I
this
think it
award.
goes Woody in the end.
I'll finally contribute something positive and say that if I'm correct, Lip Gallagher had one of the lowest catch percentages in the league for corners. So, I don't know, that's a cool thing. Congratulations to Jacob Rasky, potato, tomato.
Rask.
Cool.
Rask.
Good season.
Cool. Congratulations, my man. Moving on, we have Offensive Performance of the Year. From Yellowknife, we have Kai Sakura in Week 13. From New York, we have Captain Rogers in Week 2. From Yellowknife, we have Colby Jack also in Week 13. Amazing how that works. From Sarasota, we have Chiruzu Ichinos. Okay, from Sarasota in Week 11. And from San Jose, we have Jamar Laxton in Week 16.
I will say straight away that whilst an okay receiving game, 8 receptions, 3 touchdowns, 130 yards, it's just not going to win. Colby had 31 from 42 completions, 450 yards, 4 touchdowns, almost 140 QBR. Which is pretty good, but I
And-
feel like that's not an outrageous stat line anymore.
And Teaser had 5 touchdowns on 11 carries.
Five touchdowns as a running back. Compare that through history, it's like super rare. So I think if
Yeah.
it's anything but him for setting something that's barely happens in league history is not the right choice.
All right. Congratulations to Frost Sucks Lamap in Week 11.
Yeah, classic weed blender for Frost.
I'm going to leave this on the screen for another 30 seconds just because I can. I'm drunk on power.
Yeah,
Moving on,
good anime. Leave it alone. Good anime.
we've got Defensive Performance of the Year. From Sarasota, we've got Kuko Clemente in Week 4. From Baltimore, we have Jeremiah Zellos in Week 9. From San Jose, we have Ricky Vaughn in Week 1. From Sarasota, we have Harrison Andrews in Week 12. And from Berlin, Bam Bam McMullet in Week 4.
First of all, every single person on this list got at least a turnover and a defensive touchdown here. They were busy there. Bam Bam had 2 picks. Jeremiah forced a fumble. Ricky
And
Vaughn, Harris Andrews both had picks, and Kuko Mente forced a fumble and recovered that too.
It's going to be really hard for voters because their defensive touchdowns every single one of them got one in their week.
Yeah.
So you can't
The
really
thing
use
I'd be
that
looking
to
at though
compare.
is Bam Bam had the 2 picks, so that there's something there.
Yeah, the extra innings.
All right.
No big sack game, so probably McBullet with that second in.
Congratulations to Bam Bam McMullet in week 4. Moving on.
Ooh,
We have
Yeah.
General Managers of the Year from Berlin. We have High and DeWalt. From Sarasota, we have Frost and Mojo Jojo. From Austin, we have Amid and Frazzle. From Yellowknife, we have Fly and P-Money. And from Arizona, we have Z-Wiz and Krunk.
Yeah, a lot of great managers. They all had pretty amazing seasons. I think it's probably down to 2 Ultimus champions here, or Ultimus. What are they called? Visitors, contenders. Yeah, I
Losers.
pers- I personally think that it might go to Arizona here, even though they lost to Ultimus. I think they just had an unprecedented like dominance this season. I think.
That's why I think it's going to be interesting because for the same reasons why it goes to Arizona for being and having one of the better teams and just being unlucky,
Yeah,
then someone like Sarasota weren't expected to be where they were, and that can be credited to the GMs.
I mean, I think Sarasota was definitely a favorite this season too. They had, I think they had this behind Arizona. They were like the second most DPE. But
When you look at
I think it's
Yellowknife, we had a
definitely
week 16 for the first seed, and most people didn't think would make playoffs, so they did
yeah.
pretty good.
That's definitely a reason to put in Yellowknife. Like halfway through the season, there were talks of them blowing everything up and starting their rebuild right then, and then they started winning games and they made the playoffs. Obviously, it didn't go how they wanted in the playoffs, but just making it is pretty impressive.
And Berlin also have done pretty
Yeah,
solid, keeping everything on track. I think it's gonna be
Berlin.
hard because I don't think any of these teams have made like a rebuild or like massive game-changing moves.
I
It's
mean,
more what they've built consistently towards.
I would say Sarasota brought in 2,000+ TPE players from free agency, with Jackson Kingston and Kakbu. Um, so that definitely is something like a big move that they made to hop them in. And then obviously just Arizona in general has done a pretty consistent job at bringing in the right people. I think I can't remember who they brought in. It was like a tight end from somewhere.
All right. Congratulations to Arizona GMs, Z-Wiz and Krunk. Well deserved.
Whoa.
Moving on, we have Offensive Player of the Year. From Austin, we have Zoe Watts. From Arizona, we have Charlemagne Cortez. From Yellowknife, we have Colby Jack. From Yellowknife, we have Kai Sakura. And from Honolulu, Cobra Kai. From Yellowknife, we...
Yeah. Any thoughts here on these players?
Yeah. Don't everybody speak at once.
Yeah, I was
think,
expecting.
like what I said with performances and rookies, when you take a look compared to other seasons, this is a record-breaking wide receiver season for soccer with 15 touchdowns, which still is like only 2 behind the most ever in history. Like the seasons that you get from Watson Kai, there was 5 other running backs that were very close stat-wise. That and Cortez, I think, is my MVP. So I think Sakura, in terms of what he did, is probably the most impressive,
All
the
right.
most standout for me.
Well, we'll see.
Congratulations to Kai Sakura.
I just want to
Whoa.
thank no one again, or me, who needs a quarterback. Just me.
Out of
Okay.
curiosity, has when was the last time a receiver won Offensive Player of the Year?
It's
I feel like it's usually a running back or a quarterback here.
the only person who would have won it
vote, yeah.
recently would have been Lim. And I don't remember Lim winning it recently. Anyway,
Well,
moving on. We
either
have
way,
Defensive Player of the Year. From Baltimore, we have AJ Lucas. From San Jose, we have Ricky Vaughn. From Austin, we have Brock Thomasacker. And from Chicago, we have Juan Domine. Did I get it right this time? I think I did.
I think so. Obviously, the one thing that's kind of slightly helps us out here in guessing is the fact that the voters like Thomas Latcher over the other two linebackers here means that I think he definitely beats it out. So it's definitely between the cornerback and him.
Vaughn.
So I honestly think Vaughn could win this, but it depends because he's got that crazy amount of like defensive touchdowns, interceptions.
And he has
But
had a really strong amount of tackles too for a corner.
yeah,
All right, guys. Congratulations to Ricky Vaughn from San Jose. Moving on, we have most dedicated member for the ISFL. We have Blasoon, Colt Classic, P Money, Schwarznar, and Bailey.
So
yeah, a lot of
Blast.
great people up here.
Mhm.
Oh, do you want to talk about Blast? Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought we'd try and do them all. So Blast, you would have does the location scout competition for the Ultimates fields and now set up for Ultimini and the WFC fields. Does a lot of work in those for the logos and fields with a couple people and QS, Timo, part of that group.
Yeah.
Longtime GM, loved user. Cult Classic, Dot's website. Most of what you see, all the new changes, the if trading coming, the changes to collections, that's from him. All that time he puts in to what might just be an auxiliary piece of the league is immense for how much enjoyment and use that gets. P Money's probably one of the quieter people on this list that most people might not know. But as my GM, I know that his dedication is unwavering to this league. So when he wakes up because he's asleep, he'll be quite chuffed in his British accent to stick himself on here. Schwaz, I mean, I think everyone knows what she does with rookies is the amount of activity she promotes in and helpfulness in rookie chat Discord, as well as being a GM, is pretty unfathomable for most people. And then you get Bailey, fantasy head, GM of Chicago, who's the main idea and instigator behind WFC coming into this league, and the commissioner of that league organizing what is essentially a whole season in 3 weeks.
Well, congratulations to Blasoon.
Ooh.
Moving on.
Yeah, super well deserved.
Moving on. We finally have most valuable player from Arizona. We have
Also, real quick, I got pinged by QS. The last receiver was Vinny Valentine in S16, so it's been over 10 seasons.
there we are. For most valuable player, we have Charlemagne Cortez from Arizona. From Honolulu, we have Cobra Kai. From San Jose, we have Ricky Vaughn. From Austin, we have Brock Thomas Lacker. And from Yellowknife, we have Kai Sakura.
And knowing Kai and Ricky won their awards, they will not be eligible for MVP. So it's between Cortez, Cobra Kai, and Brock. And I just think it
I
goes
would,
to Cortez.
yeah, you have to think about Cortez of the efficiency and how strong his season was, just everywhere.
How good that quarterback season was, I think by him not winning offensive player pretty much shows me it's going to be MVP.
Yeah, agreed.
Apparently, I could do polls in YouTube chat. We just not figured this out, but no one's voted yet.
I voted.
Hey, there we go. Cortez takes the lead with 83% with 6 votes from the community straw poll. Let's see if that holds. Congratulations to Charlemagne Cortez from Arizona.
And it's just one of the best efficiency quarterback seasons ever,
Yeah, ridiculous here.
and it still has the
Yeah.
following.
And woo, that was it. Congratulations, boys. We made it. Anybody got any last words before we sign off for the evening?
Yeah, congrats to all the award winners, especially GMs and MDM nominations for both ISFL and DSFL. Pro Bowl has been moved to Thursday because I didn't realize I had the nomination form to give out to GM, so that was delayed. So, oops. So it's going to be moved to Thursday so it can get streamed. WFC is in its final week. You get to see the playoffs and the medal matches throughout the week. And then off seasons next weekend.
All
Let's
right.
go.
So hey, Blast is Platoon's in the chat saying talk about how great I am. So I can do that for a little bit here.
No,
Before
don't
we
give him this
start.
out.
Why would Blasoon want us to lie to the league?
And cut the train.
I give Blast a lot of crap, as much as anybody, and we kind of have a lot of back and forth. So, but yeah, a great user, has been kind of a great mentor to me. Obviously with the Norfolk connection and reaching out and seeing how I'm doing and things like that. So, just an all around great dude, and congratulations.
All right. Well, thank you to. One second, let me get back to everything. Thank you to Bowl Zero, Darkness Rising, G2019, and Laser, and I guess Zane, kind of. Whatever. He was present. He was here for coming out to the award show. Thank you to everyone who has watched and put up with my very annoying voice. Hopefully you tune in Wednesday to the DSFL draft. I will be back again. And that's that. Hope everybody has a great evening.
Frost sucks, Lamap.